Yeah, so before understanding today's concept, just try to recollect it, what we were understanding in the previous section quickly. And then we go ahead to understand some more interesting concept that's about AMIs. Yeah, what we were discussing this in the previous section, it was with the type of EC2 instances. Yeah, that's about R type, C type, M type, I type, G type, and T type of instances with the burstable and unlimited options. Yeah, on the base of the service which we are launching that for about our application, that is cache systems or database systems or the middleware components or a database with a high rate of like IO operations or the video based that like the processing units, the GPU are low capacity, but to handle that the spikes on the memory, the CPU utilizations. Yes, on the basis of the requirement, the which we can choose it the type of instances. Yes, AWS is giving that as a cost optimization techniques point of view as per about our pay-as-you-go model. Yes, use it the type of instances. That's one concept which we are understanding. Yeah, burstable instances are going to have the credits. So on the base of the current credits which are available, yes, in case the spikes are happened, yes, during the spike, using the credits, the more capacity that will be allocated to the system to handle the current spike. But if the credits are not there, then that like the instances are going to have that the crash situations. But if you go for that unlimited option, then even the credits are not there, then it will use it that the price or cost based the allocating the resources, but billing will be charged. Yes, that's about understanding one more concept, T2, T3 types of, and pricing main factors also we are concluding. They're all the region based, instance type based, or on demand, or spot instances, or reserved instances, or the dedicated hosts, or Linux flavor of the system, Windows flavor of the system. So all these points that would be considered, and even that elastic IPs if you have taken that, under data transfer, load balancing. So all these points that would be considered to charge for the pricing of the EC2. Yeah, that was a concept which we are understanding in the previous section. So are you good with that, those concepts? Shall we go ahead to the next section? So if you're good with that, yes, please type this in the chat window. That's clear. Yeah, so we're good. Yeah, thank you everyone. So let's move into that. Today, one more important concept, that is AMI. So already we are using that AMI of Amazon. But what about this, the AMI concept again? Yeah, can we create custom AMIs instead of using the default AMIs? Yes, we can create custom AMIs and we can use it that's to launch the virtual machines using custom AMIs. So that is a concept we are going to learn it. But before that, any queries, questions from the previous sections and all that? Just let me wait one more minute. Maybe some more people are going to join it. Yes. So any queries, questions which you have and which you would like to discuss, just please let me know. One more small point from about our side, we have started as 100 days of the sessions giving, the day by day activities. Even that is for you also. Yes, they can just follow up that the YouTube channel, the where the day one object to day two already you are in that some days you have crossed it. But yes, if you'd like to plan it to have it that agenda the day wise, just you can refer that those sections. The once again the reviewing about those sessions. Yes, we are planning to give it as already we have the forum, right? The days based. The same thing forum. We are just giving that in the explanation format. Yeah, did you see this in the YouTube? Anyone tried to access it? Which I shared this link. Today we'll get that the day one agenda and how to start the Linux. So just review sometimes whenever you have the time. But already you have crossed the Linux and shell script, and now we are in AWS. But that session, the whatever we started, that is only videos based session. But you have joined regular sessions. That is a difference to that's one and this one. So other than this, the remaining concepts almost the same. But in this section, daily we are having the classes. But in that diamond batch, just we the less cost that is compared with this around 10,000. But only the video based learning. And on the weekend, just a 2 hours class we will conduct with that. If you have any queries, questions, which will conduct that. Okay. Anyway, that is just a small information to you. Just the keep on following that the sessions and any in the future also if you'd like to go ahead one time the review that, yes, use it that day wise sessions whatever already we are discussing that. Fine, good. So let me start about that. What is AMI? And yeah, already we know that AMI. I'm not going to talk too much on the AMI, but the AMI section. So can we create custom AMIs or not? Or suppose let me just talk it one more point here. Let me use the different color. Suppose we have this AWS account with the different regions. So this is the region 1, this is the region 2, or region 3. The different regions are available. And we have the EC2 instance. So one of the EC2 instance which are launched in the region 1. Suppose let's say this is one web server which are launched in the, you can stock it like a region or data center also, even the fine availability zone also you can talk it. So this is availability zone 1 and this is availability zone 2 or this is availability zone 3. Yeah, in the same the region you have the different availability zones, but whatever the instance which I have launched, same instance I should replicate it in the another availability zone. The same, so that's in the availability zone 1, whatever the instance which we have that, the same instance I need to manage it in the another availability zone or another region also. Then how do you do that? Can we copy the directly the EC2 instance from one availability zone to another availability zone? Is it possible to copy that directly the EC2 instance from one region to another region or one availability zone to another availability zone? How do you replicate it?
We have to take snapshot and restore it.
Yes. So we have the concept of snapshot. But before the concept, okay, snapshots will come back. But before that, one more concept is also available. Already we are using, suppose if you just observe that Amazon Linux to AMI, we are using that. So what is this, the meaning of that? That means Amazon team, they have taken the basic Red Hat basis system and they have done some customization from their side. That is, yes, Amazon Linux Extra, some package manager and some default packages which are required for all the users who are going to use it at AMI. They have done some customizations and they have packed it and they are given that as use that Amazon Linux to AMI and they have published it. Like that Ubuntu team, CentOS, Red Hat, yes. So we have this in the marketplace, so many AMIs. But here, for about our service, that could be web service or the middleware services or the database services or the monitoring services or reporting services, you have customized for about your application. But the same service, it has to be replicated in multiple either availability zones or the regions. Then how do you do that? Replication. Or as we are talking about the disaster recovery point of view, yes, you need to have the backup. The same instance replacing that. Yes, failure is happened. You need to replace that. The failed instance with the same replica of that, yes, same configuration, you need to launch the new instance. So how do you handle that cases is, yeah, same instance if you'd like to replicate it in another region or another availability zone, then what we can do, we have the different approaches, but one of the approaches is, yes, this web server EC2 instance, create AMI, create this web server instance as an AMI, and AMI you can copy to that, the one region to another region. Especially this is going to helpful that active passive mechanisms if you're going to use it. So one will be active, but you need to have that whatever you have, so you need to have the backup of it. With the same replica, you need to launch the instance with same configuration. The same data to replicate it, yes, we have that, the volumes and snapshots concept. But we have like a AWS team, we can create about our AMIs also with EC2 instance, and we can copy that AMIs easily from one environment to another environment. So how do you create AMIs? And after creating that AMIs and how you can copy it. And after copying that, so in other regions, how you can start about that, the AMIs, using that AMIs, that's the EC2 instance launching. Yeah, let's look into that, all those activities from it. Yeah, as we saw, this AWS comes with the basic images, that is Ubuntu, Fedora, Red Hat, Windows. But these images can be customized at runtime using EC2 user data. Already we are observing that using EC2 user data, we can customize it. And once that has been customized, that EC2 instance, yes, with that EC2 instance, can we create image? Yeah, but what if we could create our own image ready to go? That's an AMI, an image to use to create about our EC2 instances. AMIs can be built for Linux or Windows-based machines. Yeah, so that is like AMI, customized AMIs. How do we create it in? Okay, let me. Yeah, customized AMI is how you can create it. So that is a point we are going to talk it. So what do we do this is, so we know about it launching that EC2 instance with user data. Yeah, we launch it with web server and other software required for the development. Then the available software on this instance need to be available on another machine. Yes, the same software, whatever we have done or whatever we have configured, it has to be replicated in another machine. Then what we can do this is, this EC2 instance we can take it and AMI we can create it from management console. And whatever the content we have in this, the same content that will be replicated. I mean, that will be created as a template image. And now once this AMI is available, that AMI, what you can do is, the new AMI can be deployed in the new EC2 instance in the same region, or you can copy that, the new AMI can be copied to other regions, or if it is no more required, that AMI when not required can be deleted or deregistered. Yeah, custom AMIs from that EC2 instance we can create it, and we can launch the new EC2 instances in the same region with a different availability zone, or we can do that in the different region also. We can copy it and we can do that. Let's have the demo of this one. Yeah, I'm going to use it, this account. Let me log in. Okay, I'm going to use it Mumbai region. Mumbai or whatever region, that's about your choice. No issues on it. So let's go to that EC2 service. So let's go to that instances section. So what do we do this is, first we launch the basic web server instance. So normally which are doing this in regular activities. Yes, let me launch the web server. By taking that basic Amazon Linux to AMI. So we are going to use it, the basic Linux to AMI. This is the basic one, and on the top of this one, we are doing about our customizations. Yes. So T2 micro, that's fine, and key pair. So if I'd like to log into this, yes, that's required. Let me create new key pair. That is for the web server. Yes, key pair is already exist. Okay. Let me use it. Web server AMI. One .pem file. I'm going to create a key pair. Network settings, go ahead with the default, and security group. Let me choose that existing one. I'm going to use it some web server security group, which is allowing that port 80. That is important for us. And 22 port. And default storage. And in the advanced details, so let me go ahead and define the user data. Already before we are using some script, right? User data. Let me try to get it that user data section. There's some script which are using. Yeah, so this is a script which I'm going to use it, updating the system. Then installing HTTPD, systemctl start HTTPD, systemctl enable HTTPD. And we are creating that one text HTML file, and we are redirecting to the index.html file. Yeah, so this is a content which I'm going to use it to define the instance. So let me go ahead and let's launch the instance. Let's wait for coming up to this instance. So far we didn't do any special things. Yes, that is already we were doing that, launching the instance. Same thing I just followed with the user data, that is launching HTTPD service. Now, as per this diagram, as we're trying to understand, first we are launching the EC2 instance with Apache. So let's access the public IP and let's see it whether we are able to access it or not. Let me check it. Yeah, good. So that web server is up and running, and we got that deployed application as well. Fine, so we are good. So that this EC2 instance is ready with the web server service, and we are able to deploy that existing application. I mean, that's custom application, and we are able to access that application. Fine. But this has been launched in which availability zone? AP South 1A. But if I need the same instance in the different availability zone, can I access that same instance? How do you do this now? Replicating the same instance with the same configuration in different availability zone. That means in the same region in the different availability zone. Now, first let's go ahead. The recommended approaches is creating. So you see there's the AMI section here, but we don't have so far any AMIs. So Amazon Machine images which were created, we don't have anything. So now we are going to take that EC2 instance which were created, and we are going to create that as an AMI. So let's select that EC2 instance and go to the actions, and the image under templates is the action section. And here you can see that create image concept. Template concept, I'll come back. That is one more beauty. I'll come back, but for the time we are talking that image. AMI is how to create it. Yeah, so choose that EC2 instance and actions, image and templates, and create image. Yeah, now it is asking this image name. Yes, this is RNS web server AMI. What are the name you prefer? That some logical name? Yes, give that logical name and a description. So this is Rise and Shine. I mean, an RNS AMI for web server. Is it required that's reboot? No reboot is required. That's fine. We don't want that on the existing instance. Yeah, no reboot, no reboot. And storage is the default storage, or if you would like to allocate that additional storage within this AMI, that means new instance, whatever you are going to launch it, as per this volume, it is going to launching that. But for the timing, this EC2 instance, whatever it is having that 8 GB storage, with that the volume will be created, but we can extend the size of the AMI, yeah. But we don't need that, that's fine. And add volumes concepts will come back later. Tag image and snapshots together. That means if you'd like to tag it, image and the snapshots together, yes, you can add the tag here. And what are the tag you are giving there? Suppose name of this AMI to identify this is web server AMI. Some tagging. So image and snapshots, whatever we are going to create it, or both are going to have the same tags, or do you want to create it image tag separately and snapshots tags separately? Then you can choose this option. Then image is going to have its own tagging mechanisms, and the snapshots are going to having its own tagging. But what is the snapshot? Will come back. That is tagging, we know it, right? Key value representation. Suppose here we are giving this name is one tag, like that. As we are talking that in the user data section, if you are creating a user, you can define their mobile number, you can define their mail ID. So there are like attributes. But what do we say this in our AWS terminology? That is a tags. You can define the key and value. How do you want to identify that? Suppose this one you are creating for the environment. Yes, you can add it. Environment is, that is for the development. Like that, you can define the key value representations to identify the images. Okay, I would like to go ahead for that image and snapshot together, same tags. That's fine. Yeah, so there are the basic inputs, nothing big deal. So just go ahead and create AMI. Yeah, now if you go to that AMI section, yes, web server AMI, what are the name we have given? Yes, with that it is creating AMI. And who is the owner of this one? Yes, this is, this account owner. Sorry. This account owner ID we can see, and visibility, this is the private one, and still that is creating. It is not ready, or it is not available. Creation date, at what time it has been created, and which type of the platform is this? Yes, this is the Linux or Unix. And device type, that is a volume, which type of the volume it is using, that is EBS volume. And this volume, so what is the device it has been created internally, and which type of virtualization. Yes, there are all the properties that we can observe here, the AMI, but let's wait until getting ready. This is in the pending state. That means it is in the creating mode. Are you clear about these points? How understood the creating that AMI? Type that AMI in the chart window, everyone. But finally, we'll conclude it. AMI is recommended, or in which context AMI is recommended, and we have that another concept, the templates also. So which one is recommended will come back. But for the timing, as we should know that AMI concept, yes, get that concept. Okay, good.
Sir,
Yeah, please.
all these things we have to do with root account only.
No, not required. You can use it about your account. I have some issue with my account. That's why I just logged in with root account.
Okay. With IAM also we can do.
You can do that. That is all these service related activities. Recommended is IAM user only. but I have some issue with my account. That's why I logged in with root user.
Okay. Okay.
Until if I mention that this should be done only with root, then don't worry about it. You can go ahead with about your normal IAM user. Okay, so now that AMI has come thus yes available, and now we can use it this AMI. But visibility also is one point. Just observe that this is showing that the private. That means only in our account we can access that. It is not available outside of the account. So in other regions, you access that in the same account? Yes, you can use it. No issues. Okay, but the point now, so once it is available, is once you select that AMI, you can see that launch instance from AMI. Yeah, now next what we are going to do that is, as we are understanding the concept from that, yes, now AMI has been created using this EC2 instance. But once the AMI is available, yes, you can launch the EC2 instance with a new AMI in the same region. So this is the first point. In the same region, how do you do that? Now let me do that. Same region, how do you do that? Suppose you don't need to come to even the here also. Suppose we know that instance launching options, right? So go to the launch instances section and give me some the different name, the web server, the 2. I'm just giving that's 2. But I'm not going to use it Amazon Linux to AMI. Now we have about our own AMIs, right? Yes. Now you can choose it my AMI section. So we have about our own AMI. Yes, you can select while launching the EC2 instance if it is the same region. So my AMIs you can select it owned by me or shared with me. So if anyone shared with you, yes, you can use it. That's one as well as. But I'm going to use it owned by me. Yes, this is the AMI which we have just created. Yeah, RNS AMI for the web server. That was the description I was giving that, and this is the AMI ID and the device type EBS, virtualization type HVM, and when it was created, the date and time as per the UTC time zone. Yes, you can find it all the properties whatever we are doing. Then remaining properties the same. That is yes, instance type, which key pair that you want to use it. We were creating this one just now, right? Web server AMI. Yes, you can use it. Yeah, but your key pairs. And now if you would like to define in the different availability zone, yes, you can edit this network settings. And here, if you would have selected about that availability zone, this is AP South 1A, but I would like to launch that's in the different availability zone. In the same region as we are talking about it, in the same region, different availability zone, AP South 1B I have selected. So just what you can do in the network settings, edit the VPC and don't choose it all the things, and just choose the subnet. In the subnet, which region that you want to launch it. So about the first one, where it is launched, just let me check it quickly. Is it in 1A or 1B? Yeah, 1A. Good. Now this one I would like to launch it in the 1B. I have chosen that's 1B. And public IP address by default in this subnet it is disabled. Let's enable that. That means now suppose once this EC2 instance is ready, it is assigned in the public IP address, right? But this subnet by default it is providing that public IP. But in this subnet 1B, it is not giving that public IP. You need to enable that if you like to access it. Yeah, there are the two options. Just check it. If you like to change the subnet in the sense availability zone. Yeah, can you hear me? Is it audible to everyone?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah, sorry for inconvenience. The power, I lost it. So that's why it was disconnected. Anyway, let's see this. So where are we? Yeah, we are talking about it subnet options, right? So this is, yes, we have chosen that AP South 1B and existing instance, which is running in AP South 1A. I would like to change the availability zone. So I'm launching about it the same instance, the same service type of instance in the two different availability zones. As we are talking about it, even one availability zone lasted also, we should have the same replica in another availability zone. But how do we replicate that instances in the different availability zones of the same region for the failure, the failures to handle that of the availability zone? Yeah, so in the networking options, edit that and choose the different subnet. So whenever you are choosing the subnet is nothing but indirectly that is the availability zone. Yes, make sure that that is in the different availability zone and as assign that public IP, make sure it, then only you can access it, otherwise you cannot for the timing. But these things finally it should be managed through the load balancer. That is the next concept, we will come back. And then we were defining the security group also. Let me choose this, selecting security group existing one. Already we were using that the before one. Yes, web server security group, any one of the security group, but make sure that that is 80 is allowing that. And storage, that is a fine. The remaining, I don't want to define anything in the user data. Is it required to define this anything in user data? Not required. Already we have chosen AMI, right? About which AMI? About our AMI, we have chosen that. Our AMI is already having that service related, the package installation and starting, stopping and deploying that custom application, everything that is there inside this AMI. So we are not going to define any user data, but if you have any the customizations for this virtual machine, yes, you can define it. But already that AMI contains, I don't want to define anything now. Yes, let's launch the instance. Yeah, second server, we are launching that with the T2 micro, same type of instance, but now you see this in the different availability zone. I have the now same web servers in the two availability zone. Even one availability zone lost it also, I have the still my application which is running in another availability zone. So let's wait until that's getting ready of this one. Then we will use it, this system IP address to check it. Where is that public IP? Yeah, so this is a public IP. And already we are accessing this. This is one instance. This is 1A. And this is 1B instance. But application and internal content the same, but IP addresses are the different. So now I have that 1A and 1B, two instances which are having the same application and same configuration. Is it clear about this? The AMI creation and AMI, yeah, first launching that EC2 instance, then creating that from EC2 instance AMI, and using that AMI, launching that EC2 instance in the different availability zone of the same region. Is it clear, these three steps? Let's type this in the chart window, CLR, clear. CLR or C or clear, whatever you prefer, but I would like to see this response. Are you on the track? So we have first launched that EC2 instance with user data. Then we have created AMI, and using that AMI, now we have launched that EC2 instance. But while launching that, what are the configuration I have that chosen to deploy to the different region is that's about one option in the networking settings, subnet. In which subnet that do you want to use it? Subnet is nothing but indirectly availability zone. And make sure that subnet is it having that public enabled. The remaining story is the same thing. But we have used about our custom AMI, about our AMI instead of using that Amazon Linux to AMI. Okay, so this is one process, one kind of the requirement. Another kind of the requirement, what we'll be having another use case. Now the client is asking that, boss, we are using this EC2 instance in this Mumbai region, but we need to have the same replica in different region, some Singapore region. So we need to have the backup of that instance or disaster recovery point of view. Even one region got failed, another region should be available. But in another region, how do we manage that or how do we launch it? The same instance which we have in Mumbai region. Yeah, so now this process, if you try to understand it for it. Yeah, so these two instances in the different availability zones in the Mumbai. But as this region got failed, now all the instances will be losing that. But if you'd like to have it even in this region got failed also, we need to have the backup of the instance. So if the client wants that's the kind of the backup mechanism, then what we can do, go to the AMI which are created and go to the actions and you can see that copy AMI. Copy AMI, or you can see there's some more other options. Request to spot instances. Yes, using this AMI, you can request for the spot instances. And edit AMI permissions, I'll come back. And if you'd like to delete this AMI, yes, you can go ahead and deregister this AMI. And you can change the description. So there are some options. Let's go for that copy AMI. As per about our requirement, I need to replicate it, the same instance in the different region. Then use that copy AMI. So what is the name of this AMI? Yes, RNS web server AMI. And you can write the description. Yes, this is the copied AMI. Copied web server AMI from Mumbai region. Yeah. So this is AMI name. And destination region. Yes, to which region do you want to copy that? I would like to copy to the Singapore. Do you want to copy the tags also, which we were adding that? Yes, I need to have the tags also. And encryption. Yes, now the data is transferring this, right, over from the Mumbai region to Singapore region, the geographical location base. That means internet it is going to use the networkings, and over the network my data will be transferred. In my MI, whatever the data I'm having, the data will be transmitted. Recommended is encrypt options, security point of view. So encrypt EBS snapshots of AMI copy, and which key that do you want to use it? Yes, this is the key which is available. That's AWS is providing that. Yes, use that key and copy AMI. That means the before copying that my AMI will be encrypted. Even anyone over the network they access that's my AMI data also, then they cannot understand that what it is there. And after copying to this region, then that will be decrypted with this key. SKM is the key management service. This is one more service from AWS, and use that key and copy that. Yes, let's go ahead, copy AMI. Yeah, AMI copy operation is initiated. So it takes some time to copy over the network. So now if you switch to the Singapore region, so let me open that one more link, and let's switch to the Singapore region. Let's go to EC2 service. Let's access that AMI. Yes, now we see this here. Now we are in the Singapore region, but before it was Mumbai region. So this is a Mumbai region. From the Mumbai region, we are copying this AMI to the Singapore region. Yes, now I'm in the Singapore region. And if you see the status of this AMI, so still that is saying that pending. It is copying over the network. It takes some time on the base of that AMI size. Now, once it is available, we can take this AMI and we can launch instance from AMI. That means in this region also, that we can have the same service which we have in Mumbai region. So let's wait. It is taking the time to copy it. Is it clear how to copy that AMI from one region to another region?
Sir, while copying the AMIs, we didn't add the user information that install. So can we append some more thing?
Yeah, yes, you can do that. Suppose you would like to define the custom users within virtual machine. Then in the user data section, yes, you can add it, the shell scripting, user add, and adding that user with the permission, the passwords, then adding that user to the sudo file, then sh enabling. So these things I'll come back in the Terraform with more customization. But here we just use that web server point of view. But if yes, if you'd like to add it, yes, while suppose once the EC2 instance is ready, we are creating that EC2 instance, right? You can log into this EC2 instance and you can create a users and you can set that all the things, whatever the customization it is required for this EC2 instance, do all the things, then create AMI. That's also fine. But AMI, whatever the state you have, so that EC2 instance, whatever the state we have, whenever you're creating AMI, with that state, the AMI will get ready. But we were using user data section and we were defining web server only with the latest update. But if we need that users with login options, yes, we can do. Is it clear the point?
Yes, sir.
But I will talk it more shell scripting approaches and all that. And with Ansible, whenever we step into the Terraform infrastructure as a code. This has got failed. So the network issues. So let me try it one more time, copying this. Actions, copy AMI. I can define the description of it. That's fine. Let me use it. And I would like to copy it to the Singapore, copy the tags and encrypt EBS snapshot. Let me find it, EBS one. Yeah, so maybe the key was issue. So let me try to use it, EBS key. So let's go back to the Singapore and let me verify now. Yeah, AMI snapshot copy failed with error given key ID is not accessible. So while doing that decryption, so this service is not having the permission. There is some different key which was taking this, right? By default, the light cell something key is taking. But now we have defined EBS key. So let's use it that. And make sure that once all these have been used, you have clearly, you have deregistered all the AMIs and EC2 instances from all the regions. Anyway, this has got failed. Let me remove this one. I don't need this. So how do we remove that? The AMI is, you don't see the delete option, but you see deregister AMI. Yeah, after you deregister an AMI, you cannot use it to launch new instances. Yes, I'm okay with that. Let's go ahead, deregister AMI. Because AMI is running is nothing but backend, it is going to use the storage. So the storage point of view, yes, if that AMI is running or AMI you have created is nothing but, yes, that's a volume related charges will be applicable. So that's why make sure about, not volume, that is snapshots here. So make sure about it. So you are clearing all the AMIs once it has been used. Still taking time to copy it. Region level you are copying is nothing but that is mostly that the backup options. So that is a disaster recoveries to manage it. Just keep this point. Yes, now this, yes, in the Singapore region, that AMI is available. It has been copied. So now we can go ahead to that instances section in the Singapore, and if you'd like to launch the instance with this AMI, from there also you can start it from the AMI section, but just let me show here. Yeah, this is a web server. We don't have this any other servers in the Singapore region. This is the first time we are launching, but we would like to use it our custom AMIs. Yes, this is the RNS AWS AMI, and this is AMI ID, and this is the description. Yes, you see that what are the description which you are given, that the same description you can see while copying. And remaining instance type key pair. The key pair anyway, I don't need that, right? We are anyway now we are not going to connect to the system. Yes, if you'd like to connect it and do some customizations, you can use the key pair. Network settings, by default I'm going that, but if you have this any specific availability zone to launch it, yes, do you want to launch it 1B or 1C or 1A, you can choose it that, but I don't have any preference for the timing. Then let's go ahead. And yeah, security group is important for us. Let me choose it, whether I may have in that. Okay, SH and web server security group. Security groups are specific to the VPC and region. So whatever we are using that the security groups in Mumbai region, these security groups are not available in Singapore region. Those are all the different, they're all the different. They're all the limited to, especially if we talk it VPC scope within the region, security group. Yeah, remaining all our defaults. Let's launch the instance. Yeah, what are the instance which we are creating in Mumbai, the same thing which we got it in the Singapore also, right? Now let's try to access this web server using public IP. Already we have launched that to instances. Two are in Mumbai region in two different availability zones. Now I'm going to access that third instance. This is from the Singapore region. If it is still trying to access, is nothing but either 2 points we need to think it. Maybe the system is not ready. Instance still it is initializing. Or we need to check the security group. Let me try to check it the meanwhile security group also which I have attached. Is it having the port 80 support? Okay, that's the problem. You see that the security group we have attached, and it is having that inbound rules 22 and 8080. But we need that 80 port. Let me edit inbound rules. I don't need that 8080. Let's add it HTTP protocol. Let's save the rule. Let's refresh this. Yes, we are good. In the Singapore also, we are able to launch the same instance. Is it clear? How do you copy the AMIs and how do we use the AMI to launch that's in the disaster recovery environments? Yeah, main region is Mumbai, and where we have availability point of two instances in the two different data centers, that is availability zones, and as well as we have launched in Mumbai region also, the Singapore region also. Is it clear these points? The only AMI we are talking about, the remaining properties, that is a launch type, security groups, key pairs, the volumes, networks, they're all like the customizations which you can do. But mainly we are talking about it AMI. Okay, let me talk it one more important option which we should know on the AMI side. Suppose if I would like to publish this AMI to you all, if I would like to share this one, or if I would like to make it this public, that means anyone can use it, my AMI. Can we do that? Yes, we can do by selecting that AMI. And if we go to the actions and edit AMI permissions, now by default, now the current state is a private. That means only my account can access that. But if I would like to share this one to the different account IDs, yes, I can add about your AWS account ID. I can take it and I can share my AMI ID to your account also. So enter the AWS account ID with which to share the AMI. Yes, I can, or we can share it, the AMI to that different accounts as well as. Or I can make it this one as public. Share the AMI public with all the AWS users. Yes, who is having that AWS account? They can search my AMI and they can use it that AMI. So if I save the changes about the public, now my AMI is a public. But how do we access the public AMIs? Suppose in the AMI section, I mean, we are in the AMI section anyway. So AMI section, now we can see that it is listing that AMI is owned by me, right? What is the filter it is showing? Owned by me. Or private images. Yes, there are all the private images which are maybe which have been shared to me. Public images. Yes, you can find it all the public images which are available in AWS and you can search it. Suppose if you know my account ID or my, here you can search it on the base of, okay, let me use that tags as environment equal to dev. But we don't have anything, it is not available. Let me use it on the base of, yeah, so whenever you are searching that on the base of the owner ID equals to that. Suppose if you know my ID, then you can use it that AMI ID and you can search for that. The owner ID is equal to that with that AMI. So it is not listing in my account. So maybe you can try with this account ID and you can search it in your the public images. Anyone have opened that AWS console in your system? Okay, so if you have the some this my account ID and you can go to that about your AMI section and you can search that the AMI and you can find it that, but it takes some time. I have so AMI which I have created the public one. So this is my AMI ID. You can use it that, and visibility is the public. Yeah, like that you can share it to that other account holders privately. There is a sharing, or we can make it the public also. But I don't want this public, so let me remove this one. Yeah, so that's about some important options which we should know that on the AMI. So how do we create AMI using that instance? Yes, first customizing that instance, that is, I mean, as per about your requirement, do the customizations, everything in the instance. So once instance with the customizations are ready, then create AMI, and you can use that AMI launch that instances in the same region with the different availability zones, or you can use it that same AMI copying to that other regions and launching the instances in the different regions. Or you can share it to this AMI to that. Suppose you have that UAT environment related AWS AMI EC2 instance. The same AMI you need to use it for the staging environments. Then the EC2 instance which you have in UAT environment, take it that and create AMI, and that AMI share it to that account that is to the staging environment, and in the staging environment use that AMI and launch the EC2 instance. That means same in UAT environment, whatever the instance you have, that is available in the staging also for testing cases point of view. Simplified. The simplified managing that the replication of instance. Direct instance you cannot replicate it. One of the option is create AMI and do that. Is it clear that AMI concept? Let's type the C if you're good with that. AMI understanding all these points. EC2 instance with AMI creation and launching that AMI in the same region with the different availability zones, and copying this AMI to other availability region, and launching over there EC2 instance. And if you would like to share it to that other accounts, yes, you can set the permissions, either private, public, or you can share it to other account IDs based also. And finally, if we don't need that, then we can deregister that as well as, that is removing in AMI. Is it clear to everyone? So I don't need these AMIs. I'm going to deregister this. Let me do that quickly. Yeah, anyone would like to discuss any points, please let me know before cleaning up this. Okay, cool. So let me deregister this. Suppose if you deregister this AMI, is it going to have that any impact to the instances? AMI is template, right? Once it is template is using that and launch that EC2 instance, EC2 instance is copied. The backend, whatever the data we have, the data has been copied already. It doesn't have any impact. Yeah, I just removed that AMI in Mumbai. Let me do same thing in the Singapore also. So make sure you are cleaning properly. Let me terminate the instance in Singapore also. I don't need this. Let me do same thing in the Mumbai also. See this within the minutes. We are managing the data center in the different geographical locations. Just with the internet and account, that is subscription with the cloud provider. Yeah, so that's about one of the concept which we should know, that the AMIs. But in the AMI, if we just observe that only the instance state you are cloning that. That means whatever you have customized on the Linux or the Windows platform, the base image we have taken, on the base image you are doing the customization and you are launching that instance. Instance is runtime and AMI is a template. But whenever we are launching that instance, other than AMI, remaining again, you are giving us all the inputs, right? That is about the key pair or instance type and the network settings, security groups, the volumes if it is required. Yes, everything, use the data. You need to customize it. But instead of using this, so what is another recommended approach which I have to say is create templates. AMI is also template, but that is only the OS related template. But remaining settings, how much memory is required, how many core process units required, what is the security group, what about the key pair to log into that, and how much storage do you need it. These are all like again the customizations. But even these are also, I would like to define it in single shot. And the 10 instances I'm launching is nothing but 10 instances with AMI and everything it should be same. The memory configurations, key pair configurations, security group configurations, volume configuration, everything it should be same. As is the dynamic instances, whenever you are launching scale out or scale in, suppose already 4 instances are running, fifth one it is launching is nothing but yes, it has to launch it automatically 51 with the same memory, same the keys, same key pairs with the security groups. I don't want to attach it security group once again manually. If it is AMI is only you can do that, but remaining all that, the manual things again. So advanced to that AMI concept required, we should know it. Don't say that AMI is not required. But AMI with the template is recommended. Let me talk it thus now. What is that? The templates concepts. Yeah, so you can view that the launch templates concept from here. So already I am having some templates. Anyway, I don't need this. Let me delete these templates. They're all Kubernetes cluster related templates. Template, if you keep it also, there is no cost for it. But AMI, yes, AMI you have is nothing but that is a backend it is using. Snapshot. Snapshot is kind of storage background it is going to use it. That will be chargeable. Yeah, so let me create the template. Yeah, template, what is that advantages is minimize the steps to provision instances. See, AMI point of view, the OS, you are choosing that OS, and on the OS, some customization, either updating the system or installing the services or creating users. If you have those kind of activities, you can do that. But remaining story, the same thing. But next, auto scaling group, that is a scale out, scale in, whenever we are going to talk it, AMI is not enough. So AMI with launch template is also a recommended template with complete configuration of the instance. So let's observe that the creating that launch template advantage. Yeah, I'm going to use that web server template. So just giving the name as web server template, and here the beauty which we have, this is version mechanism. So this is my which I'm going to talk it as the version 1. You can define that the templates. Advantage of the versions we'll talk it later. Yeah, versions describe it. Yes, I'm going to call this one as version 1. And provide guidance to help me set up a template that I can use it without no, I don't need that. And you can define the tags for this template. Yes, this name of this template, as web server. Yeah, you can add it multiple tags. And if you have this already existing template, and you can choose that template to create this with the same configuration to create this new template. I don't have any source templates. Let's go ahead. Yes, then now the template contents. Which AMI that do you want to use it? Now, if you have about our custom AMI, yes, we can use the custom AMI. Okay, we have deleted, right? Okay. So if you have this, that's a web server AMI directly, I can choose that web server AMI. Or okay, let me go ahead with Amazon Linux 2 AMI also we can do. So Amazon Linux 2 AMI, I'm going to select. Or if you have the custom AMI, yes, you can choose the custom AMI. And instance type. Yes, T2 micro. That means using this template, what all the instances I'm going to launch it, all the instances are going to use this AMI, and it is going to use this type of instance, and it is going to use all the instances with this key pair. Now I don't need to specify that for each and every instance which you're launching. Network settings. Yes, if you would like to define that network options, in which subnet does do you want to launch it? Yes, subnets as we're talking that availability zone. Do you want to launch it in 1A or 1B? You can define it. Or if you don't have any specification, just leave it there. And security group. Yes, what is the security group that you want to attach for all these EC2 instances? Yes, I would like to attach the security group. No, I don't want to create a new security group. We have already security group, right? Oh, I'm going to use it web server security group. Or if you don't have, you can create a new security group also. Storage volume, okay, let me go ahead with 8 GB. That's fine for me. And in the advanced details, let me add it the user data. If you have this AMI you can, which is already the web server, you can use it that AMI. Then you don't need to specify that user data. But I'm using this new, the default AMI, and I would like to mark this one as a web server with this content. Yeah, finally, the summary, if you just observe that Amazon Linux AMI we have taken G2 micro, this is a firewall, the security group, and the volume 1 GB with user data we have defined. Create template. I'm not launching the instance, I'm just creating template. Template is skeleton, right? So for my EC2 instance, what are the things that is required? I have defined. Now in this template. Yeah, so latest version is 1. Creation time created by the default version. Now I have this template. Now using this template, we can launch the. So if I selected this template, then you can go ahead and you can launch the instance from the template. Or if you go to that instances section and if you scroll, if you see this like the drop down menu, directly launch the instance or launch instance from template. Yeah, launch instance from template. Now you can choose the template which we have. Yes, this is the template we have created. Yes, in this template, what all the configuration we have done, all this automatically it will be populated here. T2 micro key pair is this one. Network settings, I didn't specify anything. Security group, this is a security group. EBS volume 8 GB. And the resource tags and advanced details, if I go to that. Yes, this is my user data and everything is just replicated. Now I can simply click on the launch instance. And here one more observation also on the base of the template which are choosing. Template now we have only one version, right? But I can manage these same template with the different configurations with the different versions. Okay, for the timing anyway, we have this only one version. That is version 1, which we are talking about. Yeah, I was just choosing that the template, and the remaining I didn't do any configurations here. I'm just clicking on the launch instance. The launching instance from template got failed. So it is saying that no subnets found for the default VPC. Please specify a subnet. That means while launching this, it is asking that the network configuration. Let me check it. Yeah, template or default value. And which is subnet. Okay, let me go ahead. AP South 1A. Even this one also you can define that in the template itself. Okay, for this VPC, it is saying that's no subnet found by default. That's why I have defined this explicitly. Let's see this now. Yeah, now it is launching the instance. But before 2 instances, we are talking that with AMI, but now this is EC2 instance with the template. Now you see this here, name is not populated. But if you like to define this name also, then you can go to that launch templates and edit this template. Actions. So modify the template, but if you are modifying is nothing but it is going to create a new version. So I'll show that's a new version's advantage and all that. Okay, let's wait it until getting ready of this instance. And let me check it that whether it is launched successfully, the configuration with web server or not. Let me take it the public IP. And previous instances we were terminating, they are not available. I'm going to close all these. Yes, let me open the new tab. Let's try to hit it this. Yes, we have got it. So from the template launching that, in the template we have defined the user data, and this is the instance, yes, which is available on using this public IP. So that is 113.93. Yes, we are able to access this. Is it clear about this one? The launch template. Now, have you understood the difference between the AMI and the launch template? AMI is only the OS configuration, OS customization. But security groups, key pairs, type of instance, volumes, networks, all these if you would like to define it for 10 instances with the same configuration, or 10, 20, 30 in the dynamic scaling. If you like to launch instance, it should have the same security group, it should have the same key pair, it should have the same volume. Then which one is recommended? Template or AMI? Type that in start window. Is it a T or A? Is it A or a T? Yeah, so templates are recommended. Yeah, so anyway, this is the concept we are going to use it in the auto scaling group template concept. But AMI also, which we should know that. Why we discuss the AMI? Suppose here now, whenever I launch this EC2 instance with the template, what it is doing, it is taking the default AMI and whatever the user data I have defined with that user data, it is going to launching the boot file system, launching the kernel, launching about, after that, whatever I have customized in the user data, executing all those commands. That means boot up time is, it takes more time, right? But if I'm having already AMI, which is already installed the web server, then my boot up time process will increase that. The time, yes, that's a process launching that. The EC2 instance will be very fast compared with that with the user data if I define it. That's point of view. The first we create voice related all the customizations with the AMI, and that AMI we use it in the templates. The custom AMI which we use at that. Where is that? Yes. Custom AMIs will use it instead of the default AMIs. That means it is helping to improve the boot process time. So first we'll create it OS level, what are the things that is required with the AMI. That AMI we launch it with the template. Both required. Yeah, templates, one more advantage, let me talk it that. Now we have launched the web server good. This instance is running. And capacity we have chosen the T2 micro. T2 micro is 1 CPU and 1 GB RAM. But as the application, the users are accessing that, but more load which is coming to this application. Then what is the requirement is client is asking that, boss, whatever we have taken, that's 1 GB of that instance is not sufficient, and go ahead to the next level of that, the size of instance, and apply to that current running instances without shutting down. Maybe yes, if it is required to shut down it, yes, that is required. Some configurations we need to restart it. But requirement is all the instances, suppose here we are talking that one, but you have the 10 instances which are running with the T2 micro. All these 10 instances we need to update with the T2 small, some extra, additional the type of instance. Then how do you do that? Now what do we do that is, so what are the modifications that is required? We go to the template and we edit the template. Yes, in the actions you can see that modify template with the new version. Okay, let's edit this. Now what is the version? So I'm going to specify this now version as 2. But what is the customization we have is AMI, I don't have any customization, but instance type, whatever we have taken, 1 CPU, 1 GB is not sufficient to handle the client request. Now the client is asking that extend the size of this EC2 instance, that is 1 CPU to the 2 GB. That is a T2 small. T2 small is not applicable in the free tier. It will be chargeable, but fraction of seconds you can use it, nothing big deal. Just to get the demonstration. Yes, now we have applied that the template level configuration, that is 1 GB, 1 GB instance to the 2 GB instance, and the remaining all are, I'm good with that. We don't have any changes. The remaining all are fine. Now let's create a template version. Template is the same, but now we have the 2 versions of the template. But the default version, which version has been enabled? 1. First, which was it is there? That is the default version. That means if I launch that any new instance, it is going to launch with the T2 small or T2 micro. So is it going to launch that's with the T2 micro or T2? Suppose the version 1. So what is the type of instance? T2 micro. But what is the version 2? T2 small. Suppose if I use it and if I go for this launch the instance from template, then which version it is going to use it? Is it 1 or 2?
By default, it is version 1.
Yes. The instance level, the template level, using this template, if you're launching that any instance, default version which has been enabled, with that version configuration, the instance will be launched. But if I'd like to make it my instances with the T2 small, then what you can do is, if you go to that action section, then set default version option you can see here. Then which version I would like to set as a default one is 2. If I set it as a default version, then you can see this in the default version, that is a 2. That means from the now onwards, what all the instances, if I launch it, all the instances are going to apply with
Too small.
Yes, T2 small configuration. That is the beauty of this template. You can manage it with the different configurations, different versions, and which version is required to which instances, current instances which are launching. That's you can control it that. But existing instances, so you cannot change it that. But in the auto scaling group, we'll see that existing instances, how do you update it automatically? So now my instance, which is running that T2 micro, but we need to migrate this one T2 micro to T2 small with the latest configuration. So now we cannot do that automatically. But new instance, if I launch it, let me launch that new instance from the template. Please mute. Yeah, so the web server template, and now whenever I select it, you see that's the default version, whatever it was enabled. So that's version you can see, and you can go ahead. Yes, now you see the T2 small. The remaining properties, I'm good, and launch the instance. Now from now onwards. Okay, so VPC is not given the by default subnet. So explicitly we need to select it. Or at the template level, you can customize that. Yeah, now this new instance, whatever we are going to launch it, that is T2 small from now onwards. But existing instance, once this is ready, existing instance, you can terminate it. This is a manual process, updating that instance configuration. But dynamically, how do you manage it? That is auto scaling group. That's will come back at. So this section is going to helpful that for this section, what is the main input is template is input. Yes, you can launch it the 10 instances or 20 instances. How many do you need it? Just to specify the number, it is going to launch it. And you can define the policies. So removing that instances or launching the new instances on the current demand. This is the one of the feature, whatever we are talking that about the cloud. We are going to have the demonstration with this. But before this template concept is required. A template, yes, is helping about it to manage the multiple configurations with the multiple versions. So which version is required? That's version you can control it at any time. You can revert back that instances, or you can extend that instances capacity or configurations. So AMI is one of the input in template. AMI required, we should know it. But AMI is OS level customization, that you can do that. That is a platform, OS platform level. But once that's the AMI is ready, AMI use it and with the template, define it for the instance, the complete configuration. Then use the templates while launching the instances. And in that template also, we have the different versioning concepts. Use the versioning options. Which version with which configuration? You can define the multiple versions, and you can launch that instances with the specific version. That is a beauty. This is a versioning mechanism. Yeah, so now this has been launched, and if I verify that is it working as expected, let's see that the service is ready on this. Yeah, obviously the remaining story is the same thing, but yeah, but this instance is T2 small. Yeah, so that's about templates, concepts, and templates. You don't need to delete it. It won't be chargeable. No issues, but yes, you can delete it. So if you don't want to manage it that. But instead of that, AMI is also required. I mean, we should not say that AMI, why do I need it whenever I'm having the template? So in the template, one of the input is AMI, right? About our AMI, which is customized on the OS level, you can use it and you can launch it. Then all the instances are going to have the OS level also the same configuration, and instances level also the same configuration. That is a template. Yeah, so that's all for today. Understanding about the templates and AMIs. Is it clear about these points? Amazing concepts, right? On the cloud.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good. So today, which we understand two sections. In the instances, the templates concept, and here AMIs concepts. Tomorrow we talked about it, volumes concepts. So far we are using the default storage, that is 8 GB. But what are the different types of the storage? I mean, EBS volumes are available, which one is recommended in which context? And if you would like to attach additional volumes, how do we attach it to the EC2 instance? Attaching or detaching that, easily we can do that, the volumes wise. How do you do that? That's we'll be looking at tomorrow demonstration. So once we know that volumes and the snapshots, that is a tomorrow's concept, then we'll move into that load balancers. So security groups, elastic IPs, key pairs, already we got it some important points here. Then yes, we need to move to that load balancers. After the load balancers, we'll come back to that auto scaling groups. That is about overall concepts of EC2. So is it clear for today? Make sure that everything you have cleared, the regions which you are using whenever you are practicing. Yes, I have this one snapshot here. Key pairs, I don't mind it. Security groups, I don't mind it. But the snapshots, let me delete this. Okay, so here in my Singapore region, I'm good with that. Instances, okay, one instance it is showing. Okay, that is terminated anyway. Like that, let me check it in by region. So these two regions we are using here, instances it is showing 4 and one snapshot. Key pairs, I'm good. Security groups, no issues. Instances, okay, anyway, they're all terminated. And let's go to the snapshots and let me remove the snapshot. That's AMI background, it is going to create a snapshot. Yeah, I'm good. I have cleared that all the resources. Yeah, that's all for today from my side. So tomorrow we'll start about that volume section. Thank you all. So try to practice it and have this diagram and keep this in mind and work with the AMI section. So EC2 instance launching, then AMI creation, and using that AMI launching this in the same region that EC2 instance in the different availability zone, and using that AMI launching that or copying that AMI to other region and launching that instance in other region for the disaster recovery point of view. And once all are done, and you can just keep that AMI, actually I deleted, yes, you can keep that AMI in the current region. Then in the remaining regions, you can delete it, the instances and AMI. And what you can do this is using this AMI, now you can launch that template. But whenever you are using this AMI, now you don't need to define the user data section. because already this AMI contains the web server instance and all the configurations. Then user data, whenever you are creating a template, just to skip it and use that custom AMI, and the remaining configurations you can apply it to the template. But if you are using the default AMI, that is Amazon Linux 2 AMI, then use the user data to launch the web server. So try to practice this, and you can find in the lab guide about this activity, AMI's management. So look into that, the labs, and work it on it. Yeah, so that's all from my side for today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.